Hey there guys, I am the Six Machine and welcome back to another Warhammer video. So we've had yet another little tease from Warcom about the upcoming Tyranid Codex, and I actually wouldn't be surprised if it is this Sunday's pre-order preview if I'm being honest. And as a result of the imminent release, as well as quite probably because of the Codex leaking online, it definitely looks as though GW is ramping up their game when it comes to showing off the stuff that we can look forward to in the new Codex. And so yesterday, GW showed off a closer look at some of the little gribblies of the new Codex, the Hormagaunts. Again, if you've seen and read the leaks, this won't be anything new, but for those of you that haven't, or you want to keep things a surprise for when the full release does come, what GW showed off yesterday is not only the stat line of these terrifying critters, with a brand new and improved 10-inch move instead of their previous 8, a very much more durable 5-up save compared to the 6-up they had before, and then also a very welcome change, a boost from their 2 attacks up to 3. So already, just from that alone, we can immediately see they are going to be much more durable against that 0 AP and that -1 AP firepower, which, let's be honest, is all over the game at the moment, and they're also going to be much killier. Yes, they are still weapon skill 4, but they do have 50% more attacks, so they are going to be much quicker at getting into combat, a decent chunk more durable, and going to be able to do a lot more damage when they do reach your opponent's battle lines. And then of course on top of that, as they mention in the article, with some of the imperatives like Goaded to Slaughter, which is exploding 6s in melee, you are going to be able to get a full squad of 30 of these guys doing a genuinely horrific amount of hits onto an enemy. And with some of the various hive fleets and stratagems that you have access to in the new Codex, it's very feasible that a full squad of these guys could easily take down, entire squads of Terminators or tanks or possibly even Imperial Knights all by themselves. Of course, getting all of your attacks in a combat can be a struggle sometimes, especially with the small base sizes that Hormagaunts come on, and so to help with that, there is a brand new rule coming in the Codex, which is going to apply to things like the Hormagaunts, the Termagaunts and the Gargoyles, and that is the Swarming Masses rule. And what this does very simply is that it means you can fight with this unit not only if it's in engagement range, but also if it is within 2.5 inches of an enemy unit. So this is going to give you a much bigger radius of being able to attack with all of your models, and after a decent pile-in, which I will say straight off the Hormagaunts most definitely have, you should in most situations be able to attack with almost all of your models, even in, a 30 strong unit, thanks to this increased attack range. And what it also means is that certain abilities, there aren't many in the game at the moment, but certainly the Dark Angel's line Unbreakable, which normally means that the enemy can only fight if they're in base contact basically, doesn't come into effect, and they in essence cancel each other out and you just use the normal engagement range in that situation. So this is going to have a really big impact against pretty much every army, and even if they do have some abilities to try and kind of stimmy how many attacks a horde can get in, you do have a way to get around that in some way now. And it genuinely is going to be a really powerful ability for people that want to bring those big 20 or 30 strong squads of Hormagaunts or Gargoyles, and really will let you get as many attacks as possible into your opponent, which, let's be honest, can be the difference between life and death in some situations. And it is going to make it almost impossible for your opponent to use terrain and unit placement to act as a bottleneck to try and pull a 300 kind of move and just reduce the amount of attacks that you're going to be able to get in. They are going to have to work really hard to be able to effectively cut out a lot of your models from being able to fight. I will say as well, if you are interested in a small little extra leak and haven't seen the full Codex yet, these changes also include a bump of their melee weapons going to -1 AP, so that is now 3 attacks hitting on 4s at strength 3 and -1 AP, which doesn't sound exactly stellar in 9th edition, but when you can get 90 odd attacks from a unit of 30, that is still enough to do a good chunk of damage to a lot of enemy units. And as you might expect, some of the Hive Fleet stratagems, abilities, and all the other rules in the Codex will absolutely skyrocket the damage potential of your Hormagaunts. It's probably also worth mentioning here, if you wanted to know, that Hormagaunts now come in at 8 points a model, and their fully kitted out adrenal glands and toxin sacs loadout is a hefty 11 points a model. So yes, they can get pretty pricey fairly quickly, but for a unit that can easily cover a good chunk of the board in one turn, has loads of options for buffing their damage output, and also, let's be honest, just looks damn cool on the battlefield, it is really worth it, I think, and I do think you are going to see a lot of Hormagaunts swarming across the battlefields of 9th edition very soon. But what do you think of these new Hormagaunt rules? Is the extra attack, the extra movement, and the better save enough to earn them a spot in your Hive Fleet, or are you still going to rely on Termagants and Tyranid warriors and the gargoyles in your troop slot? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more Warhammer content from me, but until next time, I'll catch you later, guys.